In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Microsoft Office as a complete beginner, step by step. We'll break everything down into simple, easy to follow steps so you can confidently use the most important Microsoft Office applications for work, school, or personal projects without getting overwhelmed. Here's what you can expect from this video. First, we'll start with Microsoft Word and learn how to create, format, and organize professional documents using the most important tools you'll use every day. Next, we'll move into Microsoft Excel, where we'll learn how to work with spreadsheets, enter and organize data, use basic formulas and functions, and create charts that help visualize information. Then, we'll explore Microsoft PowerPoint and see how to build professional presentations using slides, themes, images, charts, and simple animations to make your content more engaging. After that, we'll jump into Microsoft Outlook and learn how to manage emails, organize your inbox, schedule meetings, work with calendars, and stay on top of your daily tasks. And finally, we'll dive into Microsoft Teams, where we'll cover chats, channels, meetings, file sharing, and collaboration features, so you can communicate and work effectively with others in one place. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, let's start with Microsoft Word. When you first open Word, you'll see a few different options. You can start with a blank document or choose from one of the built-in templates. For this tutorial, let's select Blank Document so we can learn the basics from scratch. Once your document opens, you'll see a large white page in the center. This is your workspace where you'll create your document. At the very top, you'll see what's called the ribbon. The ribbon contains all of the tools you'll use while working in Word. Most of the time, you'll be working under the Home tab, so let's start there. To begin, simply click anywhere on the page and start typing. Word automatically places your text where your cursor is located. As you type, you'll notice that Word behaves very much like a digital sheet of paper. Now let's look at some basic text formatting tools. If you want to make text stand out, highlight the text by clicking and dragging over it. Once selected, you can use the bold button to make it thicker, italic to slant it, or underline to place a line beneath it. Next to those options, you'll find font settings. Fonts change the appearance of your text. You can choose different styles depending on whether you're creating a business document, school assignment, or something more creative. You can also change the font size. Larger sizes work well for headings, while smaller sizes are commonly used for regular paragraphs. You'll also see options to change text color and apply highlighting. These tools can help draw attention to important information within your document. Next, let's talk about paragraph formatting. By default, text is aligned to the left side of the page. However, Word gives you several alignment options. You can center text, which is useful for titles and headings. You can align text to the right side of the page, or use Justify, which spreads text evenly across both margins for a cleaner professional appearance. Another common feature is creating lists. If you're writing instructions, project plans, or meeting notes, bullet points can help organize information. Simply click the Bullets button and begin typing. Each time you press Enter, a new bullet point is created automatically. You can also use numbering if you want your list to follow a specific sequence. One useful feature beginners often overlook is Format Painter. Let's say you've spent time formatting a heading with a specific font, size, and style. Instead of manually recreating that formatting elsewhere, click the formatted text, select Format Painter, and then highlight another section. Word instantly applies the same formatting. Now let's move to the Insert tab. The Insert tab is where you'll add extra elements to your document. One of the most common things you'll insert is a table. Click Table and choose the number of rows and columns you need. Tables are useful for organizing schedules, project information, budgets, and other structured data. Another popular option is Pictures. Click Pictures and select an image from your computer. Once inserted, you can resize it by dragging the corners and move it around the document as needed. Adding images can make reports, presentations, and informational documents much more engaging. You can also insert shapes such as arrows, circles, rectangles, and lines. These are useful for creating diagrams or drawing attention to important content. Another feature worth knowing is headers and footers. A header appears at the top of every page while a footer appears at the bottom. Businesses often use these areas for company names, document titles, dates, or page numbers. To add page numbers, simply click Page Number and choose where you want them displayed. Now let's take a look at page layout. Under the Layout tab, you can control how your document appears on the page. Margins determine the amount of empty space around your document. Most documents use the default margins, but you can make them wider or narrower depending on your needs. You can also change the page orientation. Portrait is the standard vertical layout that most documents use. Landscape rotates the page horizontally and is useful for wide tables, charts, or graphics. Another important feature is the ability to save your work. You should save your document regularly while working. Click File, then Save As. Choose where you'd like to store the document, give it a name, and click Save. Word documents are usually saved in the default Word format, but you can also save them as PDFs. PDF files are useful when sharing documents because they preserve the formatting across different devices. Before finishing a document, it's always a good idea to review it. Word automatically checks spelling and grammar as you type. If you see a colored underline beneath a word, right-click it to view suggestions. This makes it easy to catch mistakes before sharing your document with others. Now let's move on to Microsoft Excel. If Word is used for documents, Excel is used for organizing information, performing calculations, and analyzing data. When you first open Excel, you'll see a blank worksheet. The worksheet is made up of rows and columns. Columns run vertically and are labeled with letters, while rows run horizontally and are labeled with numbers. Where a row and column meet, you'll find a cell. Cells are where you enter your data. For example, the very first cell is called A1 because it's located in column A and row 1. Let's create a simple spreadsheet so you can understand how Excel works. Click into cell A1 and type month. Then, click into cell B1 and type sales. These will act as the headers for our spreadsheet. Under month, enter a few months, such as January, February, March, and April. Next to each month, enter some sales numbers. Now we have a basic data set. One of the first things you'll notice is that Excel is designed to make entering data faster. For example, if you type January and then drag the small square in the bottom right corner of the cell downward, Excel automatically fills in the remaining months for you. This feature is called autofill, and it can save a lot of time when working with dates, numbers, and repeating patterns. Next, let's look at formatting. Right now, our spreadsheet works, but it doesn't look very professional. To improve readability, highlight your sales numbers and go to the Home tab. Here, you'll find formatting tools similar to Word. You can change fonts, adjust font sizes, make text bold, and change colors. For numbers specifically, Excel offers additional formatting options. You can display values as currency, percentages, dates, or standard numbers. For example, if your sales figures represent money, select the cells and choose the currency format. Excel instantly adds the appropriate currency symbol and formatting. You can also add comma separators to large numbers, making them much easier to read. Now, let's talk about one of Excel's most useful features, tables. Click anywhere inside your data and then press Ctrl+T on your keyboard, or choose Table from the Insert tab. Excel will automatically detect your data range and ask whether your table contains headers. Since we already added month and sales, click OK. Your data is now formatted as a table. Tables make spreadsheets easier to read, but they also unlock powerful tools like sorting and filtering. Notice the small drop-down arrows that appear beside each header. If you click the arrow next to sales, you can sort your numbers from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. This allows you to quickly identify your best performing or worst performing months. You can also use filters to display only specific information without deleting any data. Now let's look at formulas. Formulas are one of the main reasons people use Excel. A formula always begins with an equal sign. For example, click into an empty cell and type equals sign. Then click on a cell containing a number. Type a plus sign and click another number. Press Enter. Excel performs the calculation automatically. While this works, there are faster methods available. Excel includes built-in functions that simplify calculations. The most common function is sum. Click into an empty cell and type equals sum. Then highlight a range of numbers and close the parentheses. Press Enter and Excel calculates the total instantly. This is much faster than adding numbers one by one. Another useful function is average. Instead of calculating the total, average determines the average value within a selected range. You can also use max to find the highest value and min to find the lowest value. These functions are commonly used in reports, budgets, and business analysis. Next, let's make our data more visual. Numbers alone can sometimes be difficult to interpret, especially when working with larger datasets. Excel includes a feature called conditional formatting that helps highlight patterns automatically. Select your sales figures and click Conditional Formatting on the Home tab. Choose a color scale. Excel applies colors based on the values in your data. Higher numbers might appear green while lower numbers appear red. This makes trends much easier to spot at a glance. Another important feature is charts. Charts transform raw data into visual graphs that are easier to understand. To create one, highlight your data and click the Insert tab. You'll see several chart options including column charts, bar charts, pie charts, and line charts. For sales information, a column chart works very well. Select a chart and Excel generates it automatically. Now you can clearly see which months performed better and how your sales changed over time. You can resize charts, move them around your worksheet, and customize colors, titles, and styles. This makes them perfect for presentations and reports. As your spreadsheets become larger, you'll likely need ways to find information quickly. Excel includes sorting, filtering, and search tools that help you navigate large datasets without getting overwhelmed. You can also freeze rows and columns so important headers remain visible while scrolling through your worksheet. Finally, remember to save your work regularly. Click File and then Save As. Choose a location, enter a file name, and save your workbook. Excel files can also be exported as PDFs if you need to share them with people who don't use Excel. Next, let's move on to Microsoft PowerPoint. When you first open PowerPoint, you'll see the option to create a blank presentation or start with a template. Templates come with built-in designs and layouts, but for this tutorial, let's start with a blank presentation so you can learn the fundamentals. Once the presentation opens, you'll see your first slide. This is usually called the title slide. In the center, you'll find placeholders, where you can click and add a title and subtitle. Let's create a simple presentation. Click on the title box and enter your presentation title. Then add a subtitle underneath. Over on the left side, you'll see a thumbnail view of all your slides. Right now, there's only one slide, but we'll add more in a moment. To create a new slide, go to the Home tab and click New Slide. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+M. Every slide can have a different layout. Some layouts are designed for titles, while others are designed for images, charts, or multiple pieces of content. To change a layout, select a slide, click Layout, and choose the one that best fits your content. For example, if you're creating a presentation with both text and images, a layout that includes two content sections may work best. Now let's talk about themes. One of the fastest ways to make your presentation look professional is by using a theme. Click on the Design tab at the top. Here you'll find a collection of built-in themes. When you hover your mouse over a theme, PowerPoint shows you a preview of how your presentation will look. Choose one that matches the style of your presentation. Themes automatically apply coordinated fonts, colors, and design elements across every slide in your presentation, helping everything look consistent and professional. You can also explore variants, which allow you to slightly adjust colors and styles without changing the entire theme. Now let's start adding content. The simplest type of content is text. Click inside any placeholder and begin typing. If you're creating a list, PowerPoint automatically creates bullet points as you press Enter. However, long paragraphs usually don't work well in presentations. Instead, try to keep text concise and focus on key points. A great way to make slides more visual is by using SmartArt. Let's say you have a list of information. Highlight the list, go to the Home tab, and click Convert to SmartArt. PowerPoint will offer several visual layouts that instantly transform plain text into diagrams and graphics. This is an easy way to make slides look much more engaging without spending a lot of time designing them yourself. Next, let's look at inserting images. Images are one of the most important parts of a presentation because they help communicate ideas quickly. Click on the Insert tab and select Pictures. Choose an image from your computer and insert it onto the slide. Once inserted, you can resize the image by dragging its corners. You can also reposition it anywhere on the slide. PowerPoint provides alignment guides that help keep objects neatly organized. Besides pictures, the Insert tab also gives you access to icons, shapes, screenshots, text boxes, videos, and audio. Shapes are particularly useful for highlighting information. For example, you can insert arrows, circles, rectangles, and call-out boxes to draw attention to important content. Charts are another powerful feature. If you're presenting numbers or business data, charts make information much easier to understand. To insert a chart, click Insert and then Chart. You'll see several chart types including column charts, bar charts, pie charts, and line charts. Choose a chart type and PowerPoint will create it automatically. You can then enter your data and customize the chart's appearance. Now let's talk about organizing your slide. As your presentation grows, you may decide that slides need to be moved around. Simply click and drag a slide thumbnail on the left side to place it in a different position. You can also duplicate slides if you want to reuse a layout instead of creating a new one from scratch. This saves a lot of time when building larger presentations. Next, let's look at animations. Animations control how objects appear on a slide. For example, you might want a bullet point to fade in when you click your mouse. To do this, select an object and click the Animations tab. You'll see options like fade, fly in, and zoom. For most professional presentations, simple animations such as fade work best. They help guide attention without becoming distracting. Closely related to animations are transitions. Transitions control how PowerPoint moves from one slide to the next. Click on the Transitions tab and select a transition effect. One of the most popular modern transitions is Morph. Morph creates smooth movement between slides and can make presentations feel much more polished. Just remember that transitions should support your presentation rather than become the focus of it. Another useful feature is Speaker Notes. At the bottom of the PowerPoint window, you'll find a Notes section. Here, you can write reminders, talking points, or additional details that only you will see while presenting. This allows you to stay on track without placing too much text directly on your slides. When your presentation is finished, it's time to present it. Go to the Slideshow tab and click From Beginning. You can also press F5 on your keyboard to start presenting immediately. While presenting, PowerPoint displays your slides in full screen mode. If you're using two monitors, Presenter View becomes available. Presenter View allows you to see your current slide, upcoming slides, notes, and presentation controls while your audience only sees the presentation itself. Before giving an important presentation, it's always a good idea to practice. PowerPoint includes a feature called Rehearse with Coach that analyzes your delivery and provides feedback to help improve your presentation skills. Finally, don't forget to save your work. Click File, then Save As, choose a location, and save your presentation. You can save it as a PowerPoint file, export it as a PDF, or even create a video version of your presentation. Now let's move on to Microsoft Outlook. When you first open Outlook, you'll notice a few main sections. On the left side, you'll see navigation icons that allow you to switch between Mail, Calendar, People, and To Do. In the center, you'll see your inbox and folders. On the right side, you'll usually see the Reading pane, which lets you preview emails without opening them in a separate window. Let's start with the most common task, sending an email. To create a new email, click the New Mail button near the top left corner. A new message window will appear. First, enter the recipient's email address in the To field. If the person is already saved in your contacts, Outlook may automatically suggest their email address as you type. Next, enter a subject line. This should briefly describe what your email is about, so recipients immediately understand its purpose. Then, type your message in the main body area. Once you're finished, click Send. Now let's look at a few additional options available when composing emails. You'll notice fields labeled CC and BCC. CC stands for carbon copy. Use this when you want someone to receive a copy of the email even though they're not the primary recipient. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. This allows you to send a copy of the email to someone without other recipients seeing that person's email address. Another important feature is attachments. If you need to send a document, image, spreadsheet, or presentation, click the paperclip icon. You can select files directly from your computer, or, if you're using OneDrive, attach files stored in the cloud. Outlook also provides basic formatting tools. Just like in Word, you can make text bold, italic, or underlined. You can change font sizes, colors, and styles to make important information stand out. You can even insert hyperlinks. For example, instead of pasting a long website address into your email, you can highlight text and turn it into a clickable link. This helps keep emails cleaner and more professional. Next, let's talk about email signatures. An email signature is a block of information that automatically appears at the bottom of your messages. Most professionals include their name, job title, company information, phone number, and website. To create a signature, open Settings and locate the Signature section. Create a new signature and enter the information you'd like to include. Once saved, Outlook can automatically add it to every new email you send. This saves time and helps maintain consistency across your communications. Now let's move to your inbox. Whenever you receive a new email, it will appear in your inbox list. Clicking an email opens it in the reading pane so you can view its contents. When responding to an email, you'll typically have 3 options. Reply sends a response only to the sender. Reply All sends your response to everyone included in the email conversation. Forward allows you to send the email to someone who wasn't originally included. Choosing the correct option helps avoid confusion and unnecessary email traffic. As your inbox grows, organization becomes increasingly important. One of the easiest ways to stay organized is by using folders. Folders allow you to group similar emails together. For example, you might create folders for projects, clients, finance, personal, or team updates. To create a folder, right-click your mailbox and select New Folder. Once the folder is created, you can drag emails into it manually. This helps reduce inbox clutter and makes important messages easier to find later. Another useful feature is search. Instead of scrolling through hundreds of emails, simply use the search bar at the top. You can search by sender name, keywords, dates, or subjects to quickly locate messages. Now let's switch over to the calendar section. Click the calendar icon and you'll see your schedule displayed by day, week, or month. To create a new event, click New Event. Enter a title, choose a date and time, and add any relevant details. If you're scheduling a meeting with others, you can invite attendees by entering their email addresses. Outlook can also generate Microsoft Teams meeting links automatically, making it easy to schedule virtual meetings. You'll also have the option to create recurring events. For example, if your team meets every Monday morning, you can create the meeting once and set it to repeat automatically. You can also add reminders so Outlook notifies you before appointments begin. This helps ensure you don't miss important meetings or deadlines. Next, let's look at contacts. Click the people icon to access your contact list. This section stores information about the people you communicate with. You can create a new contact by entering their name, email address, phone number, company information, and other details. Having contacts saved makes it easier to send emails and schedule meetings without manually entering information each time. Outlook also allows you to flag emails. If you receive an email that requires action later, flag it. Flagged emails can appear in your task list, helping ensure nothing important gets forgotten. Finally, let's look at rules. Rules help automate repetitive actions. For example, you could create a rule that automatically moves newsletters into a specific folder. You could also automatically mark certain emails as important or organize messages from specific senders. This reduces manual work and keeps your inbox organized automatically. Now let's move on to Microsoft Teams. Teams is Microsoft's communication and collaboration platform that allows people to chat, share files, attend meetings, and work together in one place. When you first open Teams, you'll see a navigation panel on the left side of the screen. The exact layout may vary depending on your version, but the main areas you'll typically use are chat, teams, calendar, and activity. Let's start with teams and channels. A team is simply a group of people working together. For example, your company might have separate teams for marketing, sales, human resources, or specific projects. Inside each team, you'll find channels. Think of channels as organized conversation spaces dedicated to specific topics. Instead of everyone sending emails back and forth, team members can communicate directly inside these channels. To open a channel, simply click on it. You'll immediately see all previous conversations, announcements, and shared files related to that topic. If you want to start a new conversation, click into the message area and type your message. Once you're ready, click Send. Your message becomes visible to everyone who has access to that channel. If you want to respond to an existing discussion, use the reply option underneath that conversation instead of creating a brand new message. This keeps discussions organized and makes conversations easier to follow. Another useful feature is mentions. If you need someone's attention, type the @ symbol followed by their name. Teams will suggest matching users automatically. When you send the message, that person receives a notification, making it more likely they'll see your message quickly. Next, let's talk about file sharing. One of the biggest advantages of Teams is how easily you can share files with coworkers. When creating a message, you'll see an attachment option that allows you to upload documents directly into the conversation. For example, you can share Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, and images. Everyone with access to the channel can view and collaborate on those files. You can also click the Files tab within a channel to see all documents that have been shared there. This makes it much easier to locate files without scrolling through weeks of conversations. Now let's move to chat. While channels are designed for group discussions, chat is designed for private conversations. Click on the chat section. Here, you'll see your recent conversations. To start a new chat, click New Chat and enter the name of the person you'd like to contact. Then simply type your message and send it. Private chats work very similarly to messaging apps you may already use. You can exchange messages, share files, send links, and continue conversations over time. You can also create group chats by adding multiple people to the conversation. This is useful when you need to discuss something with a small group without involving an entire team or channel. Just like channels, chats also have a shared section where you can quickly access files exchanged within the conversation. Now, let's move on to meetings. Meetings are one of the most commonly used features in Microsoft Teams. Click on the Calendar section. Here, you'll see all of your scheduled meetings and events. To create a new meeting, click New Meeting. Start by entering a title. Then choose the date and time for the meeting. Next, invite participants by entering their names or email addresses. Teams automatically checks your organization's directory and suggests contacts as you type. Once you've added attendees, click Send. Everyone invited will receive a meeting invitation. A useful feature here is the Scheduling Assistant. If you're organizing a meeting with several people, the Scheduling Assistant helps you identify times when participants are available. This makes scheduling much easier and helps avoid conflicts. When it's time for the meeting, simply open the event and click Join. Before entering the meeting, you'll have the opportunity to check your camera and microphone settings. You can choose whether your camera is on or off. You can also mute your microphone before joining if you'd prefer. Many users also take advantage of virtual backgrounds. These backgrounds can blur your surroundings or replace them with professional-looking images. This is especially helpful when working from home. Once you're inside the meeting, you'll see several controls along the top or bottom of the screen. The microphone button allows you to mute and unmute yourself. The camera button turns your video on or off. One of the most important features is screen sharing. Click Share and choose whether you'd like to present your entire screen, a specific application, or a presentation. This allows everyone in the meeting to see what you're working on. Meetings also include a built-in chat panel. Participants can send messages, ask questions, and share links without interrupting the speaker. For longer meetings, Teams also provides recording and transcription features. Meeting recordings can be saved for future reference, while transcripts automatically capture spoken conversations and convert them into text. These tools are especially useful for training sessions, presentations, and important discussions. Finally, take a few minutes to explore the Settings section. Here you can customize notifications, appearance, audio devices, and other preferences. Adjusting these settings can help make Teams more comfortable and efficient for your daily workflow. And that's your complete beginner's guide to Microsoft Office. Hopefully, this tutorial gave you a solid foundation and helped you understand the core features you'll use most often in each application. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.